Blackwood Manor stood on a hill overlooking the town. It was a looming presence, dark and silent. Locals whispered about its history. They said it was haunted. The mansion had been empty for decades. No one dared to go near it. The Blackwood family had met a tragic end there. Their sadness seemed to linger in the air. Eliza Blackwood, the lady of the house, had died mysteriously. Some said she had drowned. Others said she was murdered. But everyone agreed her spirit never left Blackwood Manor. Noah was not afraid of ghosts. He didn't believe the stories. He thought they were silly. His friends knew about the legend of Blackwood Manor. They dared him to spend the night there. Noah, always up for a challenge, accepted. He waited until nightfall. The moon was hidden behind clouds. A storm was brewing, casting an eerie glow on the mansion. Noah chuckled to himself. This would be easy. He would prove everyone wrong. The old iron gates groaned as Noah pushed them open. The sound echoed through the silence. He stepped onto the overgrown path. The mansion loomed before him. Its windows were dark eyes watching him. The front door creaked open as if inviting him in. Inside, cobwebs hung from every corner. Dust covered the furniture. The air was heavy and cold. Noah shivered. He walked from room to room. Each one seemed to hold the remnants of a forgotten life. He felt uneasy, but he pushed on. A sudden noise made Noah jump. It was a soft whisper coming from the shadows. He stopped, listening intently. He heard it again, a woman's voice, faint and mournful. It seemed to be calling his name. Noah's heart pounded in his chest. He told himself it was just the wind. But deep down, fear began to creep in. He continued down the hallway, his footsteps echoing in the silence. The whispering grew louder. It seemed to be coming from the room at the end of the hall. Section 5. The Face in the Mirror. Noah reached the room. His hand trembled as he pushed open the door. It was a grand bedroom with a large four-poster bed and a vanity table. He shone his flashlight around the room. His heart skipped a beat. In the mirror, he saw a figure standing behind him. It was a woman in a white gown. Her face was pale and her eyes were dark. She reached out, her long fingers reaching for him. Noah spun around, but the room was empty. There was no one there. He was alone. Or was he? Section 6. Trapped. Noah backed away from the mirror, his heart racing. He had to get out of there, now. He turned to leave the room, but the door slammed shut. He rattled the handle, but it wouldn't budge. He was trapped. Panic welled up inside him. He banged on the door, yelling for help. But his voice was swallowed by the silence of the mansion. He was alone, and something was in the house with him. He could feel its presence, cold and menacing. Section 7. A desperate escape. Noah scanned the room, searching for another way out. His eyes fell on the window. It was his only chance. He pushed open the window. The cold night air hit him. Rain was lashing down, but he didn't care. He had to escape. He squeezed through the window and landed heavily on the muddy ground below. He scrambled to his feet and ran. He didn't stop running until he reached the safety of the road. He looked back at the mansion, its silhouette dark against the stormy sky. He had never been so terrified in his life. Section 8. The Woman in White. As he caught his breath, Noah realized something. He had seen the woman in white before. He had seen her in a portrait in the mansion. The portrait of Eliza Blackwood, the woman who never left. Her eyes had followed him from the painting, and then he had seen her reflection in the mirror. She was real. Noah shuddered. He couldn't deny it anymore. Blackwood Manor was truly haunted. Section 9. The Search Party. The next morning, Noah told his friends what had happened. They were worried. They hadn't believed him before, but they could see the fear in his eyes. They formed a search party and headed to Blackwood Manor. They searched every room, every nook and cranny, but there was no sign of anyone. They found Noah's flashlight on the bedroom floor, but Noah himself was gone. The local police were called. They searched the mansion and the surrounding woods, but they couldn't find any trace of Noah. Section 10. The Lingering Presence. Blackwood Manor stood silent once more. The locals said Noah's disappearance was just another tragedy in the mansion's long history. They said he had become another victim of Eliza Blackwood, the woman who never left. They said his spirit was trapped there now too. Some say that on stormy nights you can still see a figure in the window of the mansion. A young man holding a flashlight, his eyes wide with terror. And if you listen closely, you might just hear a whisper on the wind, a whisper that seems to say, "Help me."